Hey there, I'm Kronos, your AI guide to the world of artificial intelligence technologies. Today, I'm really excited to help you get started with text-to-image generation in ComfyUI. Let's get into it. Okay, so this is a little follow-up from the last tutorial. So now that you've installed ComfyUI, you should get this as your default workflow. So now that you have the workflow, one of the things you'll have to do initially is install this model, the v1.5 pruned EMA only FP16 safe tenses. So just quickly jump into your Internet Explorer or whatever web browser you use and just search for it. You should be able to find it here at Hugging Face. I'll put the link in the description below. Check out Files and Versions. This is the one that you want, the F1.5 pruned EMA only FP16 safe tensors. Click on the download icon and you should see it downloading to your local drive. Once that's downloaded, you have to put it in the correct folder for it to operate, which is the checkpoints folder. Go into your main folder for ComfyUI and open up Models and then Checkpoints. I already have it installed here. In ComfyUI Models, Checkpoints, place your v1.5 pruned EMA only FP16 safe tensor file. This is the one that you're going to initially use. For the purposes of this course as well, I'm going to use the Epic Realism model. This gives really cool results. I'll see if I can find a link for you for this one as well. Again, go into Files and Versions and download this file and put it into your Models folder in Checkpoints. That should give you everything you need to get started to generate images in ComfyUI. Once you've downloaded those files at the moment, just keep it selected to the v1.5 pruned EMA only FP16 safe tensors. By default, the width is 512. The height is also 512. This is because this model was trained on an image set of 512 by 512. This is where you put your positive prompts, and this is where you put your negative prompts. To make it easier for us to understand or differentiate between the two, let's quickly change their colors. Select the prompt, right-click on it, go down to Colors, and we're going to select red to differentiate from the positive prompt. We're also going to change the title by right-clicking again, going into Title, and we're going to change this to negative prompt and then press OK. For the positive prompt, we're going to do something similar. We'll change the title to positive prompt and we'll change the color to differentiated as well to cyan. Now this defines what the size of your image is going to be, so that's part of your prompts as well. This is the checkpoint. These are the encoders or prompts. This is the sampler, this is the decoder, and then this is the save image. So before we get any further, let's just create groups for each of these. So this group we're going to call loaders. We're going to hold Control and drag to select all three of these nodes, and then go Control G to create a group, and we're going to call this encoders. For case sampler, we're going to do the same, and we're going to call it samplers. For VE decode, we're going to call it decoders. And then finally for the save image, we're going to call that output. That should help you get a better understanding about what all of these different parts of the workflow do. This is our positive prompt. By default, it's set to beautiful scenery, nature glass bottle landscape, purple galaxy bottle. In the negative prompt, we've got text and watermark. And by default, the size is 512 by 512, as we said before. Now we're ready to run this workflow. You can either press this button here to run the workflow, or use our shortcuts that we learned from the last lesson and go Control-Enter. And that will start to load the checkpoint and run the workflow. Initially, the first time you run it, it's going to take a little bit longer to load this checkpoint. But then after the checkpoint is loaded, it's kept in the internal cache until you close the ComfyUI. So it becomes a lot faster to run the same workflow a second time or a third time. Once it's completed, you should get an image something like this. You can resize this image to make it a little bit easier to see. And then you can change this positive prompt to anything you really want. So let's change it now to a cat playing tennis. And in the negative prompts, we're going to add some extra details. I'm going to say mutation, deformation, extra limbs, multiple people. You can add more negative prompts, and they will balance out to make sure that you don't end up with distorted or warped outputs. Now let's run this workflow again. As you can see, it didn't take any time to load the checkpoint. It went straight to the sampler, and it's produced a cat playing tennis. It's not really good, so we just run it again. And there is a cat woman playing tennis. That's more like what we want, though it does have an extra limb sticking out of its back, so the results aren't perfect. Now let's try the other model that I downloaded, the Epic Realism model. This is my favorite one. If we run this again, it's going to take some time to load up. It's a 2 GB file. The time that it takes to load and process all depends on the amount of VRAM that you have and the type of GPU that you have. VRAM is your virtual RAM. A GPU is a graphics processing unit. The other thing that can slow the process down is by increasing the steps. But this also increases the amount of passes it does in order to create the image, and the image becomes better with the more steps, usually. So if we try and type in 200 now, I'm not sure what the limit is. Let's put in 1,000 steps. We're not going to try and run 1,000 steps. It'll take too long. Let's just change this now to 50 steps. One of the things we can also do is we can resize this group. First, we just have to move this out, resize the group so that this fits nicely into the box. So there we go. So you can see the difference in the image. It's quite a bit different from the initial model. It's quite a bit better, but it's still doing weird things like there's an arm holding the tennis racket that looks like it's coming out of the back of the cat. If you run this again, remembering that we've increased the steps, it's going to take longer to run the steps. But because the model's already loaded, that part is very quick. We can keep on repeating until we get an image that we want. The other problem as well is that once you've generated the images, you need to find them. The outputted generated images you'll find in your ComfyUI outputs folder. So if you go into your ComfyUI folder, you'd see a folder like this called outputs. Open that up, and if you scroll to the bottom, you'll get your latest outputs. So now let's save our work. If we go Ctrl+S, this will start the Save Workflow dialog, and we're going to call this workflow text to image and confirm. If we want to find this workflow again, we can either go into Workflow, browse the templates, and open the user folder, and in default will be a folder called Workflows that contains all your saved workflows. But the fast way to do it is by going W, and you'll see text to images right here in the list of the other workflows that have been created. W again closes the workflow menu. And that's it. You should be up and running with ComfyUI now. Like and subscribe and hit that notification button, because on the next video we are going to use Midjourney to generate video. See you on the next one.